In this video, I'm going to show you my exact sales framework that I use for my large clients who have hundreds of thousands of followers on their Instagram, Facebook, whatever their social media platform is. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework that we use for our clients to help them actually be able to sell their product or service. Okay, so there's 5 steps in the sales process. The first thing we want to start with is building some rapport. I am a big proponent on value-based selling. I think that value-based selling is the easiest way to sell because when you provide value, people reciprocate the value back to you. So if your salespeople aren't closing anything, it's probably because they're not knowledgeable about the product, they're not providing value first, and they're not using the factor of reciprocity in their sales process. So if that's the case, you need to get new salespeople or you need to train them and make them more aware. That's why whenever we hire salespeople, we always verify that they know what they're talking about. If we're selling a fitness offer and they are fat, they're gonna be terrible, they're gonna suck. So it's very, very important that the people that you hire are actually educated in whatever your product is. So the second part of this stage is discovery, and that's where we're gonna really be diving into their pain points and their desired outcome. So the first thing we wanna look at is their current state. What are the pains that they're in? If we're looking at this like Google Maps, right? In Google Maps, in order to get to the desired state, you have to know where you're currently at. And if you don't know where you're currently at, you can't get to where you wanna go. So the first thing we wanna identify is where they're at, right? So the first thing that we're looking for is their pain points. What are they struggling with? And what are the things that could be going better in their business? They might not even identify it as a pain, but it is a pain because it's that thing that's holding them back from going to the next level. The second thing that we want to look for is making sure they're financially qualified. That means that they have money, they have a lot of, capital to invest, or they have enough capital to invest in your program, in whatever you're selling. If they don't have any money, they're going to be a bad fit. Now, one thing that we can ask here is about the money. We want to verify this so that we can use it as ammunition later when we're getting hit with those objections later on, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this video, and how you can handle those price objections with this ammunition that you've gathered. So very, very important that you look for the price. And again, if you're not writing this down, I want you to go stop this video right now, go grab a notebook and start writing this down because this is going to be very important. So the first thing we're looking at is rapport. Second thing is discovery. The third thing is the presentation. So this is where you're actually going to present the value that you're going to bring to them. This is where you're actually going to deliver the value and where you're actually going to present your offer stack. So the very, very important thing that you must have is value in your product. Your value should be more than the price. If the price is lower than the value, people are not going to buy it. So very, very important that your price is lower than the value and that you have a lot of value in your product. And if you're selling a good product, if your sales team, they're looking for good products to sell. They're looking for good offers. And so if you're selling a good product, you're going to be able to close it a lot easier. So very, very important that you show the value. The first thing that you want to do here in the presentation is just present the value stack, go line by line, and if you can have, this stack of 10 different things that you offer, instead of just offering video editing, because who cares about video edits? Video edits suck. Nobody cares about video edits. What they care about is the money that they're going to get from the video edits. So how can you build your offer in a way where you can provide value? And I'll talk about that in another video and plenty of other videos. I've done other videos on that before, but very, very important that you present your value in that way. And the best way to do that is by having a stack of a bunch of different offers that you're going to give out for one price. And so on each of these lines of the offer, you should have a price. For instance, one course in, you might have a program where you're bundling 10 courses and the willingness to pay goes up because people are willing to pay for 10 different courses. If you have a $40,000 value stack and you're selling it for $3,000, people are going to buy it every single time. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for value that's higher than price. And so when you present that value, it's very, very important that you have value prices. So each thing, your value price should be like 10x your actual price for the product. If you're selling a $3,000 product, you should have $30,000 worth of value. So that is the basics of how to present. And I'm not going to talk very in depth on offer on this video, but you can go out and find more videos on offer on my YouTube channel as well. But very, very important there. The next thing is going to be the price presentation. And this is where you're actually going to say the price. So you're going to walk through your presentation without saying the price, right? You're going to go through the value price of what each thing is worth. But as soon as you say the price, that's where most people lose the sale. It's the time from when they present the price to the time that they try to close that deal is when most people lose that deal. So very, very important that you wait to present the price until after the presentation. The price, whenever you present the price, you should not say a word after it. I want complete silence, right? You're going to say, well, this product, have you seen the value in it? That's what you're going to say in between the price or the presentation and the price. You're going to say, have you seen the value in it? And most likely they're going to say, yeah, I think it's pretty valuable. I think it's a pretty good product. And then you're gonna ask, like, do you think this is something that might be able to help you go from your pain points to your goals? And obviously we used those two things earlier to gather ammunition. So now we know their pain point, now we know their goals. So we're gonna ask them, is this something that you think might be able to help you get from point A to point B? If it is, then we're gonna present the solution, we're gonna present the price. If they say no, you're probably not have a good prospect anyway, because most people aren't gonna say no. 99.999% of people are gonna say yes to that, right? So when you present the price, I wanna hear silence. I wanna hear nothing. It's gonna be awkward. I promise you it will be awkward. But if you can't withstand that awkward silence, you're gonna lose the sale, right? So the first person to talk typically loses the sale on that price presentation. You don't wanna justify the price. There's no price justification that's needed. Your product should be so valuable that you don't have to justify the price. And if you've done everything right up until this point, you shouldn't have to fight on objections and you shouldn't have to fight on price. So very, very important that you stay in silence, because you don't want to have to justify your price. You want them to justify it themselves. Now, the next step is to close, and that's really where you're going to be getting your objections. Sometimes there's no objections. Sometimes we have great people who are ready to buy the product, who are super hot leads, and that's where we just go ahead and send them the payment link. But on that topic, like, most people aren't going to be that case. Probably 20% of people might be that way, and 80% are not going to be that way. And so when you have an objection, you need to know how to handle it. And the easiest way to handle objections is through word tracks and knowing what to say before the client says it, right? So there's three types of objections. There's a scarcity and urgency objection. There's your price value cost, and then there's your trust and credibility, right? So either people don't trust you, people don't see that you are the best company for it, that you're the best salesperson for it, or they just don't see the product as a trustworthy product. Like, one of those three things is typically off in those trust/credibility questions. The price value cost questions are going to be people that either didn't see the value in it, they didn't think they thought the price was too high, or they don't have any money. And this is where we can bring up the difference between price versus cost, right? Price is the price that they pay. Cost is what they're actually going to get out of it and the profitability of that thing, right? So if something costs $2,000 for a warranty, but it saves them $100,000, people are more willing to pay that because the cost is lower if something were ever to happen, right? And then the third thing is going to be our scarcity and urgency. So that's like, you just didn't create enough urgency in the sale, and that's what we're going to bring up. Like, yeah, you know, we have 10 slots left. We have a few slots left. This might not be available the next time you hop on the call. Somebody's like, well, I just need some time to think about it. That's where we really need to be able to handle those objections. And the best way to do that is through word tracks and building those tracks out beforehand. And there are three things that you need in every sale, that every sale needs to have, that you need to have to sell something, right? To be a closer, to be a real killer in the sales world, you need three things. First, you need skills. Second, you need systems. And third, you need support. If you'd like our support on any of this stuff, I'd love to help you out for free. It's my favorite four-letter F word, F-R-E-E, free. Love to hop on a quick free value call with you, bring you as much value as possible, go a lot more in depth on these specific objections. Obviously, I'm making this video to a very broad audience, but I know you're going to get specific objections that not everybody's going to get, right? You might get an objection of, hey, I need to think about it, or hey, the price is too high. Or you might get something that's specific to you. And so if you have that, I'd love to help you out for completely free. I'm not asking anything from you, but if I can help you out in any way, I'd love to do that. I want to serve you at the highest level. So if that's something you're interested in, go hit that first link in the description. Other than that, if you don't want to, you can go check out my video on the offer. I know we were talking a lot about offer earlier, so you can go check that video right here. And until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.